Istanbul is one of the oldest cities in the world. A unification of 3 pieces of land joined through man-made river crossing. As human technology became more realized, we chased our instincts for fire, for trade, for power, for height. Istanbul is not landlocked, but no mountains in sight make this port city vulnerable to the hasty advancements of its enemies. Then came Emperor Justinianus, who served the Byzantine Empire from 527 to 565 AD. As part of his Renovatio Imperii, Justinianus took hold of the city with an iron and gold fist. Like Midas, he touched parts of the city, leaving a wake of architecture behind. In a year, he erected the Megalos Pyrgosm, Great Tower, the Tower of Galata on the Golden Horn of Istanbul. As part of his many introductions of Christendom, he dubbed the tower Christea Touris, the Tower of Christ. It was a feat for its time, and the largest structure seen for thousands of miles, a marking point for the critical harbour and influential city that held it together. As trade boomed, conflict arose. Civilizations came and went. The engineering feat had not accounted for the power of the earthquake that would hit 1,000 years later. The Genoans were now in power, and they recruited the Ottoman architect Hayreddin, who rebuilt the tower on the city of Galata. In the next 100 years, it served as a trade post, observatory, and even prison. Ottoman rule led to great expansion as the city built its significance. But it was Hizafan Chalebi who brought the city reputation beyond what any human had ever seen. He had heard the tale of Daedalus and Icarus, a young boy whose curiosity brought him to fly too close to the sun, who was burned by his own desire for the unknown. Instead of taking the tale as a warning, he was inspired. No human had ever mimicked the paths of birds. Da Vinci had toyed with the idea, but not even he, the father of fantastical science and human ingenuity, had been successful. Hezarfen was set to change that. Like Icarus, he stole feathers from eagles, affixed them with wax, and there he stood at the top of the Galata Tower. What better point to jump off from? He had readied himself but was not prepared for the extraordinary adrenaline rush. As he lingered on the ledge, felt the cold cutting through his suit, he surveyed the people below. He felt like a pigeon more than the mercenary eagle he had been trying to emulate. The sounds of the city drifted up to him. The people looked like ants. How well humans convince themselves that they are the strongest animal, that they are not but piles of flesh with no insect exoskeleton to protect them from a great fall. He pushed the thoughts away. He would make it. The plan was to have gravity's momentum guide him across the city and the Bosphorus Canal and onto the shoreline. He had failed 9 different flight trials before. But this one he would finally succeed. And with a leap, he sailed off the tower's summit, over the city rooftops, over the Bosphorus Canal and the Maiden's Tower, and down to the shore of Üsküdar. The Ottoman people called him the first son of God. He had defied all human odds, natural law, and physics as they knew it. It should be no surprise that their ruler, Sultan Murad IV, could have witnessed this feat, could have questioned the threat of the inventor's mind on the power he held over the people of Genoa. He exiled Celebi to Algeria, where the stunning mind succumbed to the elements and passed away at the age of 31. The city would never forget his leap of faith. The legend of the man of 1,000 sciences held for hundreds of years as the city cycled through sultans and various rulers, museums and monuments dedicated to Hirzafan's great technological advancements stayed as a reminder of the power of his great mind. Over the next few centuries, Istanbul, although it was called Constantinople up until the 20th, remained a major intersection of culture, language, and invention. The only mainstays are the legends, the stories of the powerful people who once walked the city streets. Herzafen was one of many geniuses to touch Istanbul who exist now only in myths. There are a few myths for the little tower laying in the Bosphorus Strait, but my favorite is the one of Battleghazi, a man who fell in love with the daughter of Istanbul's ruler. The cruel man sent his kin to waste away in the tower, away from all other life, except the birds who landed there. Battleghazi refused to see her suffer. He stormed the island and took his maiden away, sailing into the sea in search of a life to build together. The legend remains a lesson. He who takes the house crosses Üsküdar. Herzafen was never one for listening to the morals of legends, but he seemed to take this one to heart. He crossed Üsküdar, creating his own legend, one with the moral that progress only happens when a soul ends deliberating, when they take the leap to do what no one has ever done before. And here the city, with all of its history and invention, remains a touch point of humanity's relentless pursuit of the unfounded.